Today we're going to take a look at my favorite feature coming up in Dart 3, which is actually records. Let's take a look. Here I just have a newly created Dart console project. Let's imagine we want to create a method. This method is going to return just one value, an integer. And we can just make it return 1 for now. If we would do something like final, I don't know, location, and then we print it. If we would then run that, we can see that we just get 1 back. So this is pretty typical. Now in a location, we often handle latitude and longitude. So what we would usually do is just create a class to handle that. So for example, we would have the return type as a location. We would do location, and then we would create a class location. And this is kind of where a lot of the boilerplate code comes in, which is just kind of annoying. So in this case, for example, we want to run this. We can see now we get just an instance of location. We just want to print the values. So what do? We create an override for the toString. And now we can see, okay, we get the location and we get the X and Y. Awesome. Now we have added almost twice or 3 times as much code for just returning 2 values instead of 1. So one of the new features coming in Dart 3 is records. Let's actually delete the entire class. So instead of a location as the return type, we will actually just have a return type of 2 values. We will have them as integers for now. So now we have 2 integer values as return types. So what we can do now is just return 1 and 2. If we run this, we can see that we get this annoying parenthesis 1 and 2. It's still better than instance of location, right? But let's imagine that we now want to get these 2 values out of there. We can do something called destructuring. So here we can get the values out. So latitude, longitude. And here we can now just print them. Latitude, longitude. If we run this, we can see that we have 1 and 2. Awesome, right? Like this is already a huge step forward. Another thing I really enjoy here is that we can have named return types for records. So let's imagine instead of just int, which doesn't really say too much, we can give them names. So this is very similar to how you would do with named parameters in methods or classes or constructors. You just wrap them in square lists. And here we get a type issue because we haven't given them names. So latitude, longitude. So now we just get a type issue here. That's because we have to define which of the values are 1 and 2. Let's just do latitude and longitude. So now we get type issues up here, but let's just ignore that. Let's just call it location. So now we have a location variable, and the location variable has the type of a record, which has the named parameter or named return types of latitude and longitude. So an awesome thing we can do now is do location.latitude or location.longitude. If we run this, we get the same behavior, right? But we have just pretty much gotten a class, but we can now use it as whatever we wanted to use it as before. Now another really cool thing is that we can actually do the destructuring part as we did before, but now we can actually give them names. Let's imagine that latitude now is going to have another name, subscribe, and longitude, Robert. So now we actually have 2 new values, subscribe, and then Robert. And if we run this, we get the same behavior again. Now this was just some examples of how you can use records and destructuring to kind of just simplify your code quite a bit. Let me know down in the comments which Dart features you're looking forward to the most. And also subscribe. You can probably find a video here, but you can also subscribe there, maybe there, or the video here. Yeah, video.